Hi. So today I'll be talking about the step down of consciousness, and I go into great detail into the electromagnetic field and the whole behavior of attraction, of manifestation, and the natural laws and habits that are derivative of consciousness. So to begin with, I want to go through the different sensations and the actual experiences we have within the body on the thought. A thought forms way into manifestation. So when you think that you are wanting to have sex with somebody, for instance, and it continues to happen over and over again, eventually it's going to happen if you think about it enough. And this same thing happens with whether you want to start a new business or whether you want to have a new family, have a new relationship, go on a vacation. You know, the more that you think about these things, the more that you will experience each of these qualities, which I'll be talking about here. And as a thought form makes its way into the experience within your point of view and your perception and your awareness, it becomes more of a integrated thing. It becomes something that is not so much purely mental. It becomes more of a sensed and felt quality within you as a thought form steps down through its process of refining and its process of acceptance and also agreement, because thought forms are always making agreements and always serving you so that you can best realize what you are actually creating. So for better or for worse, all that we are experiencing in this human form and in this life is, for better or for worse, it is not good, bad, right, or wrong. It's all so that we can become more conscious and become more efficient at our own ability to create what it is that we desire, create what it is that we want to experience at a much more rapid rate. And that requires us to be much more connected to ourselves and much more connected to our bodies, and also connected to all that is. So that means we have to be more connected with and sensitive and receptive to the other versions of ourselves, which is external to us. So as I begin here, the initial quality we experience when it comes to turning a thought form or a mental projection or a non-physical entity into a physical one, or a non-physical experience into a physical experience, the first step is being able to see that experience within the sight that sees without eyes. That sight that sees without eyes is your own imagination. It is your own consciousness that is able to perceive time outside of the present moment. It is your ability to transcend this present time and space, which I have a body right now, but I'm able to experience in my mind simultaneously, right as I'm speaking, what it will be like for me to live and be on Mars. I can imagine that simultaneously while I'm talking to you, and that is my ability to change into that timeline and that potential, that possibility, that trajectory of experience. So me being able to see that, and if I focus on what it would be like to live on Mars. Not that I want to go there by any means, but if the more that I focus on it, the more that it becomes more of a clear picture for me to see and experience that on a much more felt sense, and a much more intuitive sense, where I don't have to so much focus anymore, because seeing requires you to concentrate on an image. It requires you to align your vision, align your sight with the sight, align your sight that has no eyes with a object that has no substance. And that is the premise of imagination. It is the premise of your mental awareness, of your consciousness. And the more that we are able to concentrate, and more importantly than concentrate, the more importantly we allow it to organically pass and to come and to make its way through us, this vibration, this frequency, the more that we're receptive and able to have it pass through at a quicker rate, have it pass through the assembly line of manifestation at a much more rapid, accelerated rate, meaning that you will experience magical things and you will experience complete mysteries and miracles at a much more rapid rate. So, going beyond seeing, the more that we can hear our thoughts, the more that we can talk to ourselves and basically use affirmations to direct our awareness towards what we are seeking, what we are envisioning, the more that we're able to direct our thoughts and talk to ourselves within our own experience, our subjective experience, the more that we are able to clearly define and proclaim what it is that we want to know, what we want to believe, what we want to identify with, what we want to sense. And the more that we are able to direct our own thoughts and our own talk to ourselves, our own mental chatter, our own mental, because that is a helpful tool. A lot of people say the monkey mind is a bad thing, and that talking and dialogue is a negative thing, but that is completely incomplete. It is completely incomplete to say that, because nothing is neither good or bad. It is neutral, and it is both. And it is not this or that. It is this and that. And it just depends on your perspective. So the more that you talk to yourself in a positive light, in a way that you have power over what you are talking about, the more that you have ability to clearly define what it is that you are wanting to bring about into your life, into your experience, internal, externally. So sensing is the heart space. It is a felt sense that it's a very profound indicator that what you are seeing and what you are hearing is in alignment with what your true essence, with the heart and core of what you are is. It's the pivotal bridge between the non-physical and the physical. It's this cutoff point, or this narrow kind of eye of the needle, where non-physical starts to transcend and make its way into the physical. So being able to sense and emote what it is that you want to see and hear, and what you want to put your attention on, and what you want to eventually experience in the physical realm, the more that you're able to feel that, the more that you're able to clearly and precisely and efficiently use your sight and hearing to identify with what it is that you most often choose, what you most often want, what you most often direct your awareness to. And this sensing is the most important part, because it tells you before the seeing and hearing actually makes its way into the physical. This right here, the heart chakra, the center of your whole existence as a human being, is your place where you will know whether or not what you are hearing and seeing is going to be optimal for you, is going to be beneficial for you and others. And what is beneficial for you is going to be beneficial for others. So that being said, using our sense and our felt and our feelings. What a feeling is, by the way, an emotion and a thought form that are combined. Then we can kind of objectively see it a little bit from the heart, and see it in a way that is it ours? Is what we're hearing and seeing truly ours? Or is it in alignment with who we truly are? Or is it out of alignment, and is it not really a portion of what we want to experience and choose to realize in the reality that we live in? So going on, the identification, which is most common with the solar plexus, is where we start to generate real physical energy and a strong focus that is much more than mental. It is a charge where you are identification with a thought form, or with a sensed or a sense feeling, an identification with a feeling, or a identification with a statement or philosophy, or an identification with a image or visualization, or painting, or whatever it is you visualize. That identification is going to supercharge your own experience, so that you will be able to do what it is necessary, and nothing extra, for you to realize that at a quicker rate, for you to experience that on a physical level at a quicker rate. That's the whole purpose of identification, is to once you have aligned your sight and your dialogue and your words with your feelings and your senses, then you will ultimately direct your focus with a particular state of vibration, state of frequency, state of being that is most in alignment with what it is that you see, hear, feel on a most rapid and most common basis, the most often. So the identification is an incredibly helpful tool when we are truly know what it is, when we truly have a intuitive sense of what it is that we want to experience. And this intuition should not be based on proof. It should not be this intuition and felt and heard and seen experience should not be based on a condition that is external to you. It needs to be completely intuited and created within yourself before it is known by you and others. And that's what the identification tool and the process is there to teach us, so we can completely and utterly harness all of our awareness, our physical awareness, our emotional awareness, and our mental awareness into a neat, straight, concise, and directed focus. And it allows us to become more stronger in our own ability to recognize what it is that we are making real for ourselves. Because if we objectively see what it is that we identify with, then we can turn the process of going down into manifestation back up, and we can reverse it, and we can actually change what it is that we're thinking, hearing, and feeling. And that's just as important as, actually that is most important, because of our programming, that we actually flip and reverse this whole process and check and balance what it is that we are seeing. Because the more that we actually create space within our own dialogue, within our own ability to imagine what we want to imagine, the more that we're able to focus and concentrate on it more. Because the more space we have, the more we have to create with. Because if everything's so packed together and there's no space in between each thought, then it's much like a crowded room where you can't really, do what you want to do, because you don't have the space to physically paint a painting, because this room is full of junk and clutter and things that aren't in line with what you want to truly do, which is paint a painting. So that is just an analogy, but anyway, the identification is a most useful tool in the process of manifesting what it is that you want to manifest and experience. First, initially on a non-physical level, and then on a physical result level. So the next one is believing, and that has to do with a deeply entrenched thought form and a point of view and a angle and viewpoint that has gone throughout all the processes and has become a visceral feeling of either, usually typically in contrast and in extremes, it's either usually a very positive or a very negative feeling and thought and words or dialogue or language, or it's a very negative or positive charge on your your own emotions and your own physical energy. And what you're directing your energy and focus towards is usually seen and felt and heard and sensed to be a waste of time or a very good use of time, in simple terms. But believing is a deeply entrenched and visceral feeling that is much more physical than in a thought. It is much more. It's a network of thoughts. It's a kind of combination of thoughts and feelings that have made a network and web and a kind of complex or structure. A belief is a structure that thoughts and emotions and words and feelings and identification has all created for itself so that it can realize those things from those beliefs. So it's a system that is much more unconscious because it doesn't require you so much work and concentration from the higher non-physical planes, because it is already set in place from a point of awareness that you may or may not have be privy or be aware of. It's beliefs are a construct that is autopilot. It's on automatic. It's on substitute caretaker for you, because you have automated that system and that belief for you to bring what it is that is most similar and in vibratory frequency and similar in experience to what that belief is. So all that you experience in your life, internally and externally, is going to be in alignment with what it is that you have thought, heard, spoken, felt and sensed and identified with in the past. And that's where we are able to turn back around, and direct our focus upward again, vertically, rather than horizontally, which is outside of us, which is external. And we can direct our focus vertically, and that's where we can untangle the network and the constructs and the web of thoughts, beliefs, or thoughts, feelings, words that are no longer in alignment with our truth, with our heart and our core of who we are. So going forward, knowing is the last and final step of manifestation. It is the place where beliefs have proven themselves time and time again, and beliefs have been built and they have a solid foundation, because you can build anything out of any foundation, and sometimes it'll take longer, sometimes it'll take a shorter period of duration and time to realize something that you believe, so that you can know it. But all foundations can be constructed, so all foundations can be also torn down and be rebuilt. So this knowing is the foundation of is the proof. It is the result of all of your thoughts, emotions, feelings, identifications, and beliefs, and philosophies, and viewpoints, and timelines, and vibration, and frequency, and resonance, and state of being, state of awareness, focus. All those things are proven by the knowing part, and it is the part that is also most gratifying, in my opinion, in my experience. To know something and to know who you are is the most pleasing thing that you could ever experience. To know that you are one infinite, a creator, and that you are connected with all that is the most empowering thing you will ever experience, and it will allow you to streamline the process of manifestation from the unmanifest to the manifest, from the non-physical to the physical, to the metaphysical, to the real world. And that is, knowing is the whole application of the philosophies and the viewpoints and the feelings and seeing. So knowing is that actual work and is the actual product of where you have been putting your focus on. So the only time that you act should be out of knowing. If you do not know what you're doing, then stop acting, stop doing things, rest, meditate, look internally, and turn that focus back up to what you are seeing and what you are visualizing and what you are telling yourself and what you are feeling and what you are identifying with and what your beliefs are, because you are not efficiently using and the state of being that you are currently in is not most efficient and is not the most optimal timeline for you. So make sure that what you are actually doing in your life right now at this moment, right after you watch this video, is going to be from a sense of complete knowing that what you're doing is for your highest good and is in alignment with your most optimal timeline and is in the highest good for your own experience, because what you experience and what is best for you is the best for the experience of the others, of the collective, of the human species, of the planet, and of all creation, because we are one infinite, we are all connected, and we are all powerful in our separateness, seemingly, but we are the one infinite that is experiencing a separate experience. So, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Appreciate it.